Good morning. Today is Tuesday, September 17th. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. The suspect in the apparent assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump was in federal court yesterday. Another court date is set for September 30th. Meanwhile, NPR's Ryan Lucas reports the FBI is investigating the incident around the clock.
FBI Special Agent Jeff Veltri says it is early in the investigation, but that the Bureau is treating the incident Sunday at Trump's golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida, as an apparent assassination attempt.
We view this as extremely serious and are determined to provide answers as to what led up to the events which took place.
Veltri says agents are executing search warrants, interviewing witnesses, as well as friends and former colleagues of the suspect, Ryan Ruth. A loaded semi-automatic rifle with a scope was recovered at the scene. The serial number had been destroyed, which will make tracing the gun and determining how and where Ruth got it more difficult. Veltri says the FBI is also working to reconstruct Ruth's movements in the hours, days, and weeks leading up to the incident. Ryan Lucas, NPR News, Washington.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine is sending Ohio State troopers to guard schools in the city of Springfield. Schools, hospitals, and municipal buildings have gotten more than 30 bomb threats since lies spread that Haitian migrants are stealing and eating pets. Donald Trump and his running mate Ohio Senator J.D. Vance are also repeating the falsehoods. Springfield News-Sun newspaper reporter Jessica Orosho says Governor DeWine spoke to reporters yesterday.
Yesterday, he announced that the state is going to provide safety resources, specifically to the Springfield City School District. He talked about how these have been forcing evacuations, disrupting class times, and stoking fears.
Jessica Orosho reporting. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is leaving this morning for another trip to the Middle East. NPR's Giles Snyder reports it's his 10th trip there since the war in Gaza broke out nearly a year ago.
Secretary Blinken is due in Cairo for talks with his Egyptian counterpart. The U.S. has been working alongside Egypt as well as Qatar on a revised proposal to bring about a ceasefire in Gaza and a release of hostages. Months of talks have so far failed, and even though the U.S. says Israel and Hamas have agreed to much of the deal, sticking points remain, including Israel's demand that its forces remain in control over a buffer zone between Egypt and Gaza, and details of an exchange of hostages for Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. The State Department says there's no timetable, but that mediators are working to ensure that it's a proposal that will get Hamas and Israel to an ultimate agreement. Giles Snyder, NPR News.
Russia says it will increase the size of its army by 180,000 troops. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered the expansion to boost the Russian army to 1.5 million active troops. The Kremlin says this is needed for its western borders. That's where Ukraine has pushed into Russian territory. Federal mediators are set to meet representatives from Boeing and its machinists union who are on strike. The workers walked out demanding improvements in a contract offer. Boeing warns it may have to furlough some workers. Big tech company Meta has announced a new feature it's calling Teen Accounts on Instagram. It's an attempt to safeguard young people on the social media app. As NPR's Bobby Allen reports, this comes amid growing scrutiny about mental health and graphic content risks on the platform.
Now, every Instagram account created by a teenager will turn private automatically. There are more restrictions on what teens can view and whom they can talk to, and new ways for parental supervision. For years, Instagram has faced criticism for its role in the teen mental health crisis, along with young users who encounter sexually explicit and other inappropriate content. Naomi Gleit is the head of product at Meta.
Teen Accounts puts teens in the safest settings. It limits who can contact them, what kind of content they can see, and also how much time they spend online.
The minimum age for using Instagram is 13, but many lie to create accounts. Gleit says Meta will be using artificial intelligence to crack down on accounts with falsified ages. Bobby Allen, NPR News.
You're listening to NPR.